So I finally got the 2020 iPad Pro into the studio, and it's a beautiful device. Like, it's the same look and feel to the previous model. It has the same bezels, the same ProMotion display, the same brightness. The list goes on. The only way to tell the difference is if you flip it over. This year, we're getting a second camera on the back, which is an ultra-wide lens that allows you to take more of what you're staring at in the shot. Now, this is great if you like to use your tablet for photography, but personally, I would have rather had a telephoto lens. If you're someone using an iPad, you're most likely using it in class, at a job, or even in a conference. And being able to get closer to the board or to the person presenting, I think is a lot more valuable than having an ultra-wide lens. Now, they also added LiDAR, which stands for lighting detection and ranging, and this allows the iPad to scan the area up to 5 meters really fast. It does this so fast that it feels a lot more natural. You can place objects in the scene much quicker, and it also allows applications to be more precise with measurements. And this just makes AR seem more fluid. The way they were doing this before was with the cameras, with the gyroscope and the accelerometer, which works, but it's not as seamless as using LiDAR. The unfortunate part is it probably doesn't mean much for your life right now. Apple has this vision of a future where AR is really important, but right now, today, it's just not there. So don't buy this iPad for LiDAR because it's not going to make a difference in your life. If you want to try LiDAR, you can go to the Apple Store and be one of those people that are standing around a white table playing AR games. Performance is interesting because they did update the chip to the A12Z. I'm Canadian, deal with it. And you know what? It's not that big of a performance increase. Like, if you check out these Geekbench scores, which obviously are just benchmarks, you're not going to see that much of a performance improvement. And for those of you out there who are saying it really doesn't matter what the specs say, it's about what the applications can do. And quite frankly, there's no iPad apps out there that are really pushing the 2018 iPad Pro. So it's not going to be a while until we see applications push the 2020 iPad Pro. One area though that they did improve is memory. There's now 6 gigabytes of RAM, which does make a big difference on the iPad. It allows you to keep applications open longer, and if you're a power user of this device, that's one area you might appreciate. We finally got Wi-Fi 6, and we also got better microphones in the 2020 iPad Pro. They're saying it's studio quality, so let's do a test comparing it to the 2018 iPad Pro and the MacBook Pro 16. This is a test of the 2018 iPad Pro. This is the test of the 2018 iPad Pro. This is a test of the MacBook Pro 16. This is a test of the MacBook Pro 16. So this is the 2020 iPad Pro. This is the 2020 iPad Pro. This is exactly what the microphone sounds like. So the coolest feature is definitely the Trackpad experience. It's a new feature that came out with iOS 13.4, and it's not specific to the iPad Pro 2020. Like, you can use this on any iPad as long as you upgrade to the latest version. If you're using a mouse, you're better off using an actual trackpad, because if you use a gaming mouse or a regular mouse in general, you're left out on using the gestures. You can't swipe to get out of something. Like, if I'm on a web page and I want to swipe to go to the previous one, you can't do that with a regular mouse. You need a trackpad for the gestures, or you have to use your finger, or even just swiping up to go back to the home screen. You can't do that unless you have a trackpad or by using your finger. If you want to do it with the mouse, you have to go down to the bottom and click on the white line. The great thing though is that I can highlight text a lot easier. Like, if you've ever highlighted text by using your finger, you have to be more precise than you do with the mouse. After I highlight that text, I can click on it and then access a bunch of commands. The other cool thing is if you use a regular mouse, you can scroll up and down. It's not as fluid as it is on a desktop computer, but it can be done. And also the sensitivity, like if you have a sensitivity button, it will change as you push it, getting faster and faster or slower and slower. And whenever you're not using the cursor, it will automatically disappear after about 10 seconds or so, and it will automatically reappear once you start using the mouse again. Now, the downfall to this is that Apple's releasing a Magic Keyboard. It's gonna cost $300. That's expensive. To put this in perspective, you can buy a lot of decent, cheap Chromebooks for that price. So I'm crossing my fingers that third-party manufacturers like Logitech or Bridge come out with something that's just as good for a lower price point. The other big update is the speakers. It still has 4 awesome speakers on it, but they're supposed to be better than the previous version. So let's do a little sound test to see which one actually sounds better. Okay, so the speakers on the iPad Pro 2020 are a little better. They have like a bassier feel to it. They sound a bit more balanced. There's just more of a vibrant, punchier sound to it. It's not huge, but it is still noticeable if you listen very carefully. So here are my final thoughts. The iPad Pro 2020 is a minor upgrade. If you have an iPad Pro 2018, do not waste your money on the iPad Pro 2020 because you're not going to see that much of a difference. A lot of the key features like trackpad support really come down to the software. And since we're talking software, I still think Apple has a lot of work to do in order to create stuff that really pushes these tablets, because as of today, as of right now, there's not a lot of software out there pushing the 2018 iPad Pro. If you're coming from a 2017 model, you might like the upgrade. And if you can find a deal on the 2018 iPad Pro, that might be a better option. But if you're hoping this was a major iPad update, this just ain't it. And I don't think we're gonna see that possibly until next year when we get mini LED, possibly a slight redesign and a more beefier processor. So I hope that rounds this review up for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.